Raider. So Tomb Raider is the newest video game adaptation from video game to movie. There were a couple of other Tomb Raider movies starring Angelina Jolie that were more in line with the original intent of Tomb Raider. Hot polygon chick and titties are good. That was the point. But they have since rebooted the Tomb Raider games to take them a bit more seriously. It looks like this Tomb Raider movie is more in line with those games. And in this movie, Alicia Vikander plays Lara Croft. Her father disappeared about 7 years ago. So she follows the breadcrumbs as to what he was looking for, what he was searching for. She didn't know he was into archaeology. And it looks like his recording giving his half-ass stupid-ass reason as to why he got into it in the first place. That was enough for her, so off she goes. Gonna find some answers. But Alicia Vikander was great as Lara Croft. The setup alone, I was like, okay, we're not treating this like a video game movie. I like that. She's down on her luck, but she still feels like she has something to prove. I find it interesting when someone just has the drive, not a lot of skill, but they have some skill. Maybe some skill in fighting, definitely not in archaeology. And then they just fall into this thing. I like that. Then she lands on this island and it starts to slow down. Yeah, the pacing takes a bit of a dip. Does pick back up, but I can't deny I was more interested in Lara Croft before she hit that island. There were some pretty exciting action sequences though. That scene in the trailer you saw with the rusted ass plane, that was really legit. That was straight up some Uncharted 2 stuff. This movie had some of those intense sequences where something is falling, she's inside it, she has to grab onto a ledge, it's falling some more, she has to climb up and run before it falls. I mean, those sequences aren't everywhere in the movie, they're just in a couple spots, but when they happen, they're cool. However, admittedly, at a point in this movie, it makes a call, a turn, a plot point that happens that I hated. It's like this plot point is so unbuyable, so unruntable, so absurd, so stupid, it can only be found in a video game movie. And that's why I really hated it. It felt like everything before that, we were getting away from it. It was like Hollywood finally knew. They were like, we know how to treat our video game movies. The movie felt accessible until this. It crawls itself out of that pit at times. A couple of things I wanted to see in here, they actually showed. This girl is not, she's not killed people. So when she takes her first life, it actually kind of affects her. They don't linger on it too much, which is why it's worth addressing. It doesn't overshadow the movie. It's just this little thing that gives character. Everyone else, they drop like flies. She's like Cupid with a bow and arrow, man. They're like, nope, you. Had no problem after the first one. That's what they say, right? It gets easier. Some serial killer shit right there. Some of the CGI was all right. Some of it was not. It was like 50-50. I could flip a coin as to whether or not I'd be like, all right, that looks pretty impressive. And the thing, the tomb, the point of the movie, the mythology that everyone's chasing, it's not that I didn't buy it, it's that I didn't buy the fact that they bought it. One character in particular is so convinced that this is real, and you don't know why he's convinced it's real other than he's heard it's real. But in our world, there are a lot of stories about cursed tombs, and no one really buys it and thinks it's real. We all, generally speaking, unanimously agree that, yeah, it's probably stories. This isn't a gripe, but rather an observation. Were there throwbacks in this movie to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and also The Rock, not the person in the movie? Pretty sure I saw a couple nods, but all art inspires or is inspired by some other art. As in the end, Tomb Raider was a step in the right direction for video game movies. It's certainly not as bad as that Abomination, Assassin's Creed. In fact, this movie has a lot of enjoyment in it. It's a movie that's filmed like it's taking itself seriously, is cast like it's taking itself seriously, and really for a lot of it is shot like it's taking itself seriously. Some of the issues in this movie, among pacing, character, plot, might be a bit too much for some of you. I cannot shake the feeling that this movie, you might be able to forgive some of its flaws if you're a bit drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. All right, so Tomb Raider, have you seen it or have you played the games? What did you think about the movie? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.